Hey, what's up? My name's Ruby and let's check out today's news. NASA's boss is not happy. India's space agency has used a missile to blow up a satellite. It's made a bit of a mess and it could actually be dangerous.
Firing a rocket at a spacecraft and breaking it into tiny bits? Classic Luke Skywalker move. But something a little similar happened in the real world recently. India announced it's developed the technology to shoot down satellites by firing rockets from Earth. 3 other countries already have the tech, which basically means they can destroy an enemy's communications or surveillance satellites if they want to. India tested the tech on one of its own satellites, breaking it into a few hundred bits, and NASA's not happy. It's worried some of that debris could damage the ISS.
The risk to the International Space Station was increased by 44%.
India says the debris will die down soon, but fast-moving space junk is something many are worried about, especially the potential damage it can cause to our own spacecraft. For now though, space agencies are keeping an eye on all this to help protect satellites and the ISS from any future threats.
The federal government has released its budget, which is basically how they plan to spend the country's money over the next year. There's going to be more money spent on roads to help improve how safe they are and help people who live in the country get around. There's also a lot of money being pumped into mental health services for young Aussies. On the flip side, there hasn't been any increase to New Start funding, which is an allowance for people who are looking for work. And if you happen to be a red imported fire ant, the budget's got bad news for you too. Almost $20 million is going into getting rid of you. It's worth keeping in mind that whether any of this money actually gets spent on this stuff depends on whether it makes it through Parliament, and also who wins the next federal election. Adelaide Crows player Erin Philips is totally dominating the AFL.
Erin Philips of the Adelaide Crows.
She's just won the league's 2019 Best and Fairest award. Despite hurting her knee on the weekend, it's been a pretty good week for her. She captained the winning side and was named Best on Ground in the grand final. Then she won the AFLW Coaches Award for Most Valuable Player and was named captain of the All-Australian side, aka the best players of the year. Now we're doing a story about these things. They don't look like they'd be worth much, but some of them are actually worth quite a lot.
Going once, going twice, and sold for $10,000. I'm not even kidding. A mum in Sydney is fuming after her 7-year-old son bought a rare gold banana Stikeez toy for $10K on eBay after she left her account logged in. So what even are these little plastic things? Stikeez are collectible toys given to shoppers for every $30 they spend at Coles, and they've actually been quite controversial. There's been big efforts around the globe to cut back on plastic use, and people are worried these little bits of plastic, wrapped in even more plastic, will likely be tossed away and end up in landfill by the time the next craze comes along. Although Coles says they hope people hold on to them for a long time. As for the eBay controversy, luckily eBay heard about the dilemma and agreed to refund the cash.
Take a close look at this next segment because there's more to it than meets the eye. These tourists in Iceland were out doing a bit of glacier spotting when it became clear that there was a lot more to this view than met the eye. A massive chunk of the glacier collapsed, and that triggered huge waves and sent the group running for safety. Thankfully, they made it to higher ground in time and nobody was injured. Back in the land down under, Sydneysiders woke up to find out their city had disappeared under a thick blanket of fog. According to the Bureau of Meteorology, this misty morning was the result of a cloudless sky combined with some light winds and high humidity. Obviously, people on the road had to take it really slow, and over at the airport there were a bunch of delays because the fog was preventing planes from taking off. And this is Lola June. She looks like your average toddler, but there is more to her than meets the eye. At the ripe old age of 2, she's already a successful painter. Some of her paintings are selling for more than $2,000 a pop. And that's the show for today, guys. What do you think about Stikeez? Are they fun or are they just really, 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 really